Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I pose a question to you. Do you think Jaguar Land Rover is openly racist? Do you think that they have racially motivated policies? Do you think they've got racially motivated promotional policies, where they promote people? Do you think? Is that a yes? I think most people that watched yesterday's video where I covered their diversity, equity and inclusion policies and their whole website dedicated to it all, I'm sure a lot of people just watching that video would have said, yeah, of course they are. This is all just company-wide sanctioned bigotry. And I would agree with you, actually. That's what I said in my video yesterday, is that Jaguar Land Rover does have sanctioned by themselves bigotry ingrained into their policies, where they promote people purely for the colour of their skin, where they push people to the top purely because of what is residing between their legs. This kind of thing is just nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. Live and let live, I guess, to a certain degree, but yeah, this stuff is beyond a joke now. Anyway, I have been contacted once again. There's been a lot of people reaching out to me, by the way, that just further corroborates every single video I've done. I have a plethora of emails from HQ senior management teams right the way through to on the line, right, factory line workers going, everything you have said is the truth. Everything you're saying, all the information you've gotten, I vouch for it all. This is from so many different people. Well, now we've got a tale, a story of Jaguar Land Rover's potential, alleged, insider bigotry coming to fruition. Their open racism within their company. So, come with me on this journey today. I will be reading from this email, omitting bits and pieces, of course, to hide someone's identity. But come with me on the journey. It'll be an interesting one. And this is a tale as old as the last few years. I'm not going to say as old as time itself, because it's not, is it? We have had this nonsense from businesses for probably the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 years, maybe a decade now. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. It's not unique to Jaguar Land Rover, but I think it's important to highlight Jaguar Land Rover's disgracefulness when it comes to this woke agenda. There's many companies turning their back on this nonsense, Toyota being one of them, actually. Toyota have gone, yeah, no, we're not doing this now. We're done. I think Ford as well, give them props. I think they've turned their back on all this nonsense. So good on those companies, but shame on Jaguar Land Rover. You're a British car manufacturer, and you're openly, from what we will find out anyway, promoting black people above white men for reasons, because they have a different skin tone. It's ridiculous. So anyway, dive into this with me today. Hit subscribe if you are a returning viewer and you're not already subscribed. Why? You keep coming back, hit that subscribe button. It's the difference between the channel growing and YouTube actually appreciating the channel and putting the videos in front of you, or not. So please do that. That would be great. But anyway, like I said, I am going to be reading from this email. I've kind of curated it and put it into a bit of a story here. But it's fascinating stuff, and it highlights very particular people at Land Rover. Well, Jaguar Land Rover. And that's the key thing here, guys. You thought Land Rover was sort of sacred, apart from this situation. They're not. This will hit Land Rover as well. Unfortunately, it will. And I will tell you this now. If there's anyone from Jaguar Land Rover watching that are perpetrating this on your employees, I will tell you now, you could lose a lot of your employees all of a sudden. I know of a lot of your employees that do not want to be there because of this nonsense, that are currently looking for other work. So heed my warning. You should probably get this shit under control. Genuinely. Stop siding with the unions. Stop the unions working with you, sorry. You can side with the union. But the union's literally working with management. It's this weird cronyism. If I were you, if I was a Jaguar Land Rover employee, cut your union membership. Completely worthless. Pointless. But anyway, I digress. Let's take a look, shall we? So this is actually from, believe it or not, someone very high up. Relatively. And they're also at the headquarters. So I won't say anything else. I can't say anything else because I've got to keep anonymity. But again, interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the complaints to do with racism doesn't just come from straight white men either. This is someone who is of an ethnic background. Again, that's all I can say. I can't say much else there. Again, to keep anonymity's sake. But yeah, it's not just white people that are annoyed with the open racism at Jaguar Land Rover. Anyway, point is, they come out instantly and say, yes, you've hit the nail on the head with every single one of your videos. They're not going to touch on those topics because I've covered it so eloquently. However, they have noticed a huge topic I've not even touched on. Okay, well, what is it? I'm always keen to expand my repertoire of exposés. And they say the biggest issue currently with JLR and their new DEI directive is the complete and systematic discrimination against straight white men. Straight white men. That's their biggest issue at the moment with their DEI initiatives. Is the, again, discrimination on an industry-wide scale. It's an industrial complex of discriminating against straight white men. To the point, however, and this is quite interesting, and there'll be people that will corroborate this, there was actually a group-wide grievance at JLR sent to the HR of JLR due to straight men not being considered for promotions within the headquarters unless they're black. Now, you know you've got a problem when everyone notices what you're doing. Everyone notices what you're doing. That's a problem. So there was, a group-wide grievance sent to HR to be like, why are you only promoting black people? What's going on here? This is a bit weird. But, I don't know, equity, I guess. Screw merit, meritocracies. So the biggest person behind all of this systematic discrimination against white men is JLR's first woman executive, Director Barbara Bergmeyer, who is on industrial operations. Now, this individual actually openly states in company-wide meetings that she is there to empower women and empower women only. So it gets even worse, obviously. Now, this individual obviously does quite large meetings. There was a strategic plan for industrial operations meeting there. And it would have lots of people there, right? So it would also cover a lot of things like engineering, manufacturing, supply chain, procurement. And it was all going to showcase what their strategic plan was moving forwards for the next 18 months. Now, at this meeting, you'd think that they would be, I don't know, talking about performance indicators, efficiencies, targets, how to move things forward just how to move things forward better, I guess. This is a quality issue on this company, industrial operations. You'd think about quality and how to move things forward and how to move things more efficiently, saving money, time, etc. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. So there was a tree diagram with 10 branches, all of which were her 10 most important priorities. So quality, right? Quality of the brand itself, quality, was down at number 5. Now, I don't know about you, but Jaguar doesn't have a good reputation for quality products. They haven't for a long time. That was at number 5. It's starting to make sense now, isn't it? So this company can rebrand all they like. I've got more to the story, by the way. They can rebrand all they like, but without quality being the number 1 priority, it's not a luxury brand. You can piss off. So number 1 on this tree of importance of Barbara Bergmeyer, right, was putting black women in power. That was number 1 on this tree of importance. Number 2 was more women in directorship. And number 3 was more ethnicities in the workforce. Just more browns, I guess. More blacks. What does that even mean? More ethnicities in the workforce. Absolutely nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Like, it's not a trading card game. You're not looking to collect them all. It's not Pokemon, which this person actually eloquently puts. Now, this person was obviously, you know, pretty annoyed about this. Like, what the hell's going on? This is ridiculous. But yeah, the rest of that story, I will have to admit. So this individual then continues and says, I will not be surprised to hear that since Barbara has been at JLR, she's got an 80% promotion rate for women over men in senior positions. That's staggeringly high. That is staggeringly high. But recently, she's employed 2 new directors who, by coincidence, are both black. This individual knows of really good candidates who were both more qualified and more experienced, and they were refused interviews because they're straight white men. So, again, that's all alleged. This is just someone's opinion, obviously. So she's even created, with HR, something called Project Orbit. A directive solely for the purpose of recruiting and empowering black African women. Yes, this is still a UK British company, if you can believe it. Unbelievable. Funnily enough, I do actually have a photo of all of this, and it's hilarious. It's I don't know if I can show you because it might. It's the most cringe thing ever. I can't show you, but basically, it's a white woman in the middle, just surrounded by loads of black women. It's so cringe. So cringe. She's like, I'm the white saviour of these black women. Like, fucking, what a joke. What an absolute joke. So yeah, if we go to Barbara Bergmar's LinkedIn, there's loads of black power stuff all over the place. She's empowered a woman called Mandisa Gorman to push black supremacy agendas throughout JLR via her Reach network, even though Mandisa was nearly fired earlier this year for not doing her actual job as a finance manager. What's Jaguar's key issues? Like, the business is falling apart. Your finance manager is running about doing black supremacy shit. No. They need to do their job. And so anyway, there was a new role created for her, for this Mandisa Gorman, to then start running black culture events. Do you know how much that was? Do you want to know how much she's getting paid for that? 70 grand a year. £70,000 a year to tell non-black people that they're racist. Oh dear, oh dear. Now this person ends with something very, very comical. And they say this whole women over everything mantra is getting insane in Jaguar Land Rover. Hence why this person believes some men have given up and now trans themselves to basically give themselves a chance. There's been a lot of commentary about Jaguar Land Rover and the trans employees. Like, it's mentioned in a lot of the emails I receive. A lot of the emails I've been receiving. And again, no hate on the people that just want to live and exist. Don't shove it down people's throats, though. Phrasing. Fucking, honestly, black power nonsense. Jaguar, you are a British car company. There is an English ethnicity. It's white, right? You can't actually be black and English as an ethnicity. You just can't. And people argue in the comments. I'm not going to argue with you. It is an ethnicity. We've been presiding over these islands for a very long time. A lot longer, funnily enough, than the Maori, which apparently respect their cultures and stuff. We've been here a lot longer than them. So anyway, whatever. There you go. Another story in Jaguar Land Rover. So obviously the accusation here is that Jaguar Land Rover internally are openly racist. They have company-sanctioned racism. I can believe it. I can believe it. Leave your thoughts down below. Hit subscribe. Bye now.